This is for Year 10 Methods Pathways. We're going to look at the practice exam, the Tech 3 section. And in this particular year, the Tech 3 section was for 50 marks, and you had 40 minutes. We will make it the other way around, so the Tech 3 section will be worth 50 marks in 50 minutes, or 50 something marks in 50 minutes, and the Tech Allowed section will make a bit shorter. We'll make it 40 minutes. Okay. Alright, so question 1. We're using trigonometry. We label our sides. That's the opposite side to the angle. That's the adjacent side. So we're going to use a Taylor ratio. Tan of theta equals x divided by y. Adjacent over opposite over adjacent. So x tan theta equals x divided by y. So the answer is E. Second question. The correct value of A is, again, we're going to use trig ratios. This is the adjacent side. That's the hypotenuse. So we're going to use the car ratio. Cos of 35 degrees equals adjacent over hypotenuse, 7 divided by A. So to get A on its own, you just swap the A and the cos 35. So your answer for A would be 7 divided by cos 35, which is C. Question 3, when factorized, you want to factorize, this is a difference of two squares, dots. So that will be 4x minus 9, 4x plus 9. Okay, you must remember your factorization. So 4x minus 9, 4x plus 9, so the answer is B. Question 4, I want to factorize this. This is the cross product. Okay, so I got x. The factors of 6 are 2, 3, and 6, 1. 6 and 1 are possible, but it's not going to work because we want the two things to be negative. So the only thing that works is -2 and -3. So x minus 2, x minus 3. Because that gives you positive 6, but add together gives you -5. So negative and negative, so it's B. To make Z the subject here, I'm pretty sure we didn't do something like this in the current course, so I'll just go through it anyway. I can move the x and, not x, I can move the y z squared to the other side, and I can move the 4 to the side, so I can get x minus 4 equals y z squared. I divide both sides by y, so it'll become x minus 4 over y equals z squared. So your answer for z will be plus or minus, because I square root both sides, x minus 4 on y, x minus 4 on y plus or minus, so the answer is D. Okay, moving down. Now we did learn this, the discriminant the triangle just means the discriminant. I won't go over it because we didn't learn it, so we'll do that later in Year 11 methods. Question 7, this is a circle. Now it's inside the bracket, so the coordinates are opposite to what we expect, so the x coordinate will be -5 and the y coordinate will be 3. Okay, and the radius would be, I didn't even ask for the center, so just read the question carefully. Just ask for your radius. So the radius is square root of 16, which is 4. Okay, let's go down. When we multiply this number inside the matrix, it's just same as multiplying by 3, same as dividing by 3. So -6 divided by 3 is -2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So -2, 3, 1, 4. Which is -2, 3, 1, 4, so which is A. Question 9. We want to show what that diagram is for the network. So just got to check. We've got A, B, C, D. Let's check which one works out. So A to C is 2. A to C. B, C, D. A to C is 2. That's not it. I can automatically tell. A to C, 2. A to C, 2. That's not it either because it doesn't have a 2 there. So we're just eliminating our options. What's another point of difference? We can go to free here. Let's check if that works out. A to B is free. No, that's not right. And these two, we're going to find where's it different. So this one's different to that one. We'll see what that is. So C to B is C to B is 1, not 0. So the answer is C. Okay. As you can see, I've just gone through the process of elimination to get that. Question 10. We've got a set of parametric equations. Remember, you just read the coefficients of these. So you've got 2, 1, -3, -2. xy equals -4, 14. So out of these ones, you got 2, 1, -3, 2, 1, -3, -2, xy, 4, 14. So the answer is D. Okay. So you should have done these pretty comfortably and relatively quickly. Question 11, expand and simplify. Okay, pretty straightforward, just expand it. So we got 4r plus 8. Now the negative belongs to 3, so just be careful. You're timesing both things inside the bracket by -3. So you got -3r, positive 9. So simplifying, you get r plus 17. Okay. Expand and simplify this. You're going to use dots. Not dots, sorry, FOIL. So you go 3x times 4x, which is 12x squared, plus 6xy, minus 20xy, and then you've got -10y squared. You can simplify these two terms. Remember, make sure you simplify where possible, otherwise you'll lose marks, but don't get it wrong. Okay, so that's -14xy minus 10y squared. You're done. That's 1 mark each. Okay, so let's go down, factorize this. Now, this is actually a perfect square because the first and last term they're both square numbers, square terms. So you can go, and the middle term's negative, so it's going to be b minus 5 squared. Okay, you can use cross product just in case you didn't know perfect squares, that's fine as well. We want to factorize this. Now, this is a 3-in-1 factorization because the first term's a perfect square, which is b minus 5 squared minus 81d squared. So you're going to use dots here because you've got something squared minus something squared. So you go the first something minus the second something, the first something plus the second something, and you're done. Question 13. A rectangle, so I'm going to draw a rectangle, has an area of this, and its width is x minus 2. Find the length of the rectangle. So length is that. So we know length times width. So width is x minus 2. Length is just L. Times that gives you the area of x plus 4x minus 12. Now you need to factorize this expression. The two numbers that multiply to give you -12 but add to give you 4 are, say, 6 and 2, 6 and -2. So x plus 6, x minus 2. Now I can divide both sides by minus 2, so you're left with L equals x plus 6. Because if you divide both sides by minus 2, the minus 2's cancel, x minus 2 cancel. So we know L equals x plus 6. Okay, L equals x plus 6. You're not given units, so just leave it like that. Simplify, you want them to be the same denominator. The lowest common multiple is 12. Like I said, please don't go automatically go, oh, I'll just go 6 times 4. They'll work. You can get a common denominator that way, but however, you'll need to simplify later. And I want to get the lowest, so 12 is the lowest, as 4 and 6 both go into 12. So I need to times the first top of the first fraction by 3. So 3 8's are 24x minus 9 y, and the second fraction you've got, you times it by 2, so 10x plus 14y. Okay, and you combine them together. So because it's a plus, you don't need to worry about a problem with the negative. So you got 34x. 14 minus 9 is 5y on 12. Okay, so you do it like that. So you get a mark for the common denominator, you get a mark for expanding correctly, and you get a mark for the correct answer. Okay, so just make sure, at least if you don't know how to do it, make sure you show something so I can give you the mark. So next question. Let's keep going. Okay, the area of a trapezium. Okay, it's given by that formula. Rearrange the subject to make A the subject. Okay, again, we haven't really learnt this before. I think we have, but anyway, we'll just do it anyway. So we want to make A the subject. So first step is to get rid of the 2. So you multiply 2 on both sides. So you get 2A on this side. And you got x A plus B. Oops, A plus B H. I want to get rid of the H. So divide both sides by H. And I want to subtract the B. So we've got A equals 2A on H, subtract B. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Let's go back down, where we're up to. Here, and calculate the value of A when, calculate the value of small a when A equals, so small a when A equals 10, so that's 10. B is 1, and, H is 4, and B is 1. So 2 times 10 is 20. 20 divided by 4 is 5, minus 1 is 4. 4 centimeters, okay? So A is 4 centimeters. Question 16. Turn this in turning point form by completing the square. Okay, so you're going to use scaffold. Half of that is positive 6. 6 squared is 36 plus 3. So we're not quite done yet. You need to simplify the numbers at the end. So that's negative 33. Okay, double checking that I've done the correct working. Yep, half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Okay, hence find the solution to that. Okay, so solution means solve it. Okay, so you're going to go x plus 6 squared minus 33 equals 0. I want to move the 33 to the other side. You can use dots, but this is an easier way. Okay, and then you just square root both sides. So you go x plus 6 equals plus or minus square root of 33. There you go, x equals, I take the 6 to the other side, so negative 6 plus or minus root 33. And you're done. Okay, state the turning point of the graph. Okay, so turning point, I'll go back to my turning point form. For the x-coordinate, it's opposite to what you expect because it's inside the bracket, so it's negative 6, and outside the brackets is exactly what you expect, so negative 33. Question 17, evaluate this. So we've got times that by 3, so you've got this matrix 6, 3, 0, 9. Times the second matrix, you've got negative 2, 0, 4, and negative 14. Add them together, so you get 4, 3, 4, 9 minus 14 is minus 5. You're done. Okay, pretty straightforward, yeah? Calculate the matrix DC, show you're working out. DC is negative 3, negative 2, 6, 4, and 1, 5, 0, 3. It's a 2 by 2 times by 2 by 2, so you should expect a 2 by 2. Show working means show you're working out, okay? So we've got negative 3, so first row, first column. -3 times 1 plus -2 times 0. Second line, you've got -3 times 5 plus -2 times 3. Third spot, row 2, column 1. So you've got 6 times 1 plus 4 times 0. Now you must show working because it says showing or working. And then you've got 6 times 5 plus 4 times 3. Okay, so let's do this. 3 times -3 minus plus 0 is just -3. -15 minus 6 is -21. 6 times 1 is 6. And then you've got 30 plus 12 is 42. Oops. 42. Just checking. I've got it right. So 6 5s are 30, 30, 3 4s are 12. Yep, that's right. Okay. Actually, I think I've made a mistake because I have copied it wrong. Okay, let's redo this. So you got to be mindful to recheck your work. That's a negative. Okay, so that changes things a lot. That's a negative. What else am I missing? I'm not missing anything else. I think that's okay. Because C is 150 -3. Okay, so let's check our working. That's not affected. The second term will be affected because we have -15 plus 6. -15 plus 6 is -9. So that's -9. This term, 30 minus 12 is 18. Okay, so that should be okay now. Find the determinant of D, and what conclusions can you draw about D? Determinant of D would be just -3 times 4 minus -2 times 6. Now remember to put a bracket in if your other terms are negative, just so you don't get confused. So a negative is a positive, plus 12. So D, because the determinant 0, D does not have inverse. Does not have an inverse. Because whenever you determine 0, you don't have an inverse. Question 19, find the inverse of this and express your answer in factorized form. So factorized form means you don't need to bother expanding it. So det C is given by 1 times 3 minus 2 times 4. So that's 3 plus 8, which is 11. So inverse C is 1 on the determinant, which is 1 on 11. You swap the diagonals, so 3, 1, and you change the sign of the other diagonal, so -4, 2. Done. This is factorized form. That should be a 4. Okay. Go down. For the quadratic, determine the y-intercept. Y-intercept x equals 0. So y equals -8. So 0, 8. 0, -8. Factorize the equation. So I can factorize that using cross products. So two numbers that multiply give you -8, but add together they give you +2. So I can automatically go, that's x plus 4 minus 2. Okay, determine x-intercept. So x-intercepts would be, if you use the null factor law, you let y equal 0. So x plus 4, x minus 2 equals 0. So x equals either -4 or +2. So it'll be -4, 0, and 2, 0. Okay. Determine the coordinates of a turning point. So I'm going to use you can do a variety of ways. I'm going to use scaffold. So x plus 2x minus 8. Okay, so scaffold. You got x plus 2x minus 8. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1 minus 8. So you got x plus 1 squared minus 9. So turning point, this is in turning point form, is -1, -9. Okay, and we want to sketch the graph. Okay, so when you sketch the graph, make sure you label your points. And obviously I don't have a ruler, so it's going to be very rough, but yours is expected to be a lot nicer. So we've got x-intercepts at 2 and 4, 2 and -4, so 2 is roughly here, -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, -4 is here. My y-intercepts at, let's go back, my y-intercepts at -8, and my turning point's -1, -9. Okay, -8, -1, -9, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, so I have to go by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 is here, so 8 is where your turning point is, so that's a -8. And my turning point's at -1, which is here, -9, so which is somewhere here. Okay, so -1, -9. Make sure you label turning point. All you need to do is graph it now. Okay, so you've got to be relatively accurate and make sure it's symmetrical. So it labels all the coordinates. I've labeled my x-intercept, I labeled my y-intercept, and I labeled the coordinate of my turning point. So that's all you need. And label your axis, y and x. Okay, so attention to detail is really important for the exam because we could deduct marks for you. And that's how you do the tech for exam. Just make sure you double check your work when you have time and move on if you don't get a question. Make sure you put a big star on it so that you can get back to it later. So hopefully that helps.